this is delicious. Bizarre, but delicious.
A lot of work. Wobble, wobble, wobble. That was a lot of flippin' work. I hope it's tasty.
Hello, thank you for stopping by. I'm so glad you're here. If you are just looking for the recipe, it will be written out in the description down below. And welcome to another video where I test random vintage recipes to see if they are easy to make, tasty to eat, and most importantly, affordable. So let's spin the wheel to see what we're going to be making today. Amana pancake soup. So this is Amana recipes, and it was printed in 1948. It is a collection of recipes from the Amana Colony from, I believe, Iowa. And the Amana Colonies was a German-American religious commune. And this is the recipes that they served in their communal kitchens. So pancake soup sounded really interesting, and it is page 9, so that's early on. I'm going to attempt the German pronunciation. Pfannkuchen Soup. I don't need anything from the store for that recipe. That's awesome. The next recipe is called Rindfleisch extract. Yikes. Extract of beef, I guess. Rindfleisch is such a creepy word, though. All right, let's get started on this very strange recipe and see how it comes out. Guess who's got 2 thumbs and forgot to turn on his microphone? This guy. So you're getting a voiceover for the cooking instructions. It is a pretty straightforward process. Let's jump right into it. Pfannkuchen Suppe, pancake soup. You're going to start out with 2/3 cup of regular all-purpose flour in a good-sized bowl. Into that, you want to add 1 teaspoon of baking powder and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Go ahead and mix that together well. Then you're going to take 2 eggs, separating the egg yolks from the egg whites. And you want to take the egg yolks and mix them together well with 1 cup of milk. I actually used heavy cream because I have some I need to use up before it goes bad, but I think milk would work possibly even better for this recipe. And I'm combining the beaten egg yolk and milk with the dry goods. Then you want to take your egg whites and whip them to a stiff peak. Then you want to fold the egg whites into the batter. I do that in stages to try to keep it as fluffy as possible. Now you want to quickly get a heavy bottom skillet screaming hot and melt a couple of tablespoons of butter in there. And then you're going to cook the batter in there 1 cup at a time. This batter is a lot thicker than a modern pancake batter, so you have to take care to sort of spread it evenly. It takes a little bit of a knack getting used to it, but I think it makes really good pancakes. So you want to get one side screaming hot, golden brown. You'll see the little bubbles coming up through the middle of the pancake, and the edges will start to look brown and crispy. That's when it's time to flip it over and let the underside brown up. You want to do that with all of your batter. I got 3 large pancakes out of this. You could absolutely do smaller pancakes if those are easier to manage. Maybe 1/2 cup of batter instead of a full cup. Then you could probably get a couple of them in a pan at a time, but whatever works for you. As the pancakes come off, you want to take them, set them to the side on a large platter to let them cool down completely. While the pancakes are cooling down completely, you want to get a pot of either beef or chicken broth up to a boil. I used bouillon. That is one of the recommended options, and it is super cheap. The recipe does not give you proportions. I would recommend 4 cups of broth per 1 cup pancake. So if you used 1 cup of batter per pancake, that would be 1 pancake per 4 cups of broth. Make sense? If you used 1/2 cup of batter per pancake, that would be 1 pancake per 2 cups of broth. I think that will give you a nice proportion. So for the whole recipe, I think 12 cups of broth makes sense, which it is a lot. It's a big recipe. So you might want to try to cut the recipe in half. I don't know, work with it. So once the pancakes have cooled completely, you want to roll them up like a little Swiss roll sort of thing, and then cut them along the lengthwise so you get little noodle strips out of the pancakes, and you put them into the boiling broth and boil it for 5 minutes. That's it. This recipe is a bit of an oddball to me, but I really like the pancake technique, and I think that's going to be my new go-to trick for pancakes, is whipping the egg whites separately and then folding them into the batter. It just made the lightest, fluffiest, most delicious pancakes. Now that we have the recipe made, let's get into the taste test and the cost breakdown. And I did remember to turn on my microphone for this part, So take it away, Jeffrey, from 30 minutes ago. This is kind of a strange recipe, but that's the point. Testing out recipes that I would never otherwise make. So let's give myself some pancake soup. It looks like mush. I may have put too many pancakes. Maybe I should have just stuck with the one. But this definitely looks like something they would have served to sick people in the 19th century. I don't know, it smells decent. So let's dig in and give this pancake soup a try. It's actually very tasty. Yeah, I don't love the texture of the boiled pancakes, but it is sort of the flavor of like a chicken noodle or something. It's a really nice flavor, especially just using cheap beef bouillon. It's surprising. It is really surprising. These pancakes give it a really savory, like a very, very deep flavor, I guess. The browning from the pancakes, like the nice toasted wheat flavor of those, adds a really appealing element to the soup. It's not fancy whatsoever, but on a nice cold day with like a cup of tea, if I was feeling a little bit under the weather and somebody fed me this, I would be in love with it. Yeah, this is delicious. Bizarre, but delicious. I'm gonna try a piece of this pancake just by itself. Let's see. It does have a nice fluffiness to it, I have to say. That folding in the egg white really added an interesting fluffiness to the pancake recipe, and this might be my new go-to technique for pancakes. It's a really good pancake. Not sweet at all, there's no sugar. This is a savory pancake, but the texture is the best I've ever had. Price-wise, this is all pantry staples for me anyways, and even if it wasn't, there's nothing too special you have to get. So I went ahead and figured about $2 of pantry staples, and I think that's a generous estimate. With a little bit more beef broth, you could easily get probably 6 servings out of this. That would give half a pancake per person per bowl of soup, which I think would be spot on. And that comes to 33 cents per serving. 33 cents per serving for a really tasty soup. That's a good value. Was it easy to make? Fairly easy. The only tricky part was whipping the egg whites, folding them in, and then getting the batter spread evenly in the pan quickly enough. So there is a little bit of technique to it, but it's still not complicated. So I would say moderately easy to make. Tasty to eat for what it is, a plain earthy soup, but very, very tasty for that, and abundantly affordable. I can definitely see like eating this for a hearty lunch when you're going to be spending all day out in the field. You know, people didn't have meat as often in the past. It is a very hearty and delicious soup, very cheap to make. I can definitely see why it was included in this cookbook and why this religious commune would have made this for over a century. I just remembered what it reminds me of a little bit. It tastes a little bit like egg drop soup. The egginess from the pancake and the broth, it puts in the neighborhood of an egg drop soup. The recipe does it. You could use chicken stock or chicken broth instead of beef, and that would definitely make it seem even more egg drop soupy. But altogether, it's a nice little soup. So that is all for today. If you have liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. That helps more than you can know. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the future.